So I've asked my friends on board cruise ships of what they might think are some unwritten rules that passengers should follow and adhere to while on board. It came to a conclusion of all the combined knowledge of my closest colleagues that have worked or currently work for different departments of the cruise ships coming from different cruise lines. The findings that we have landed on may surprise you as it even surprised our own self. And we have compiled a list of 40 unwritten rules that we in the industry think all passengers should know before going on a cruise. And you can guess it, I am here to reveal all of them to you. But just before we begin, I'm asking you to do me one kind favor, as it took some days of research to bring this video to you, and I would highly appreciate it if you could just show my channel some support by clicking that subscribe button below and help me reach my YouTube milestone. It will definitely help a crew member out. Alright, let's begin. If by the time you reach the end of this video and you know majority of these rules that I've mentioned, then you can classify yourself as a seasoned cruiser. So make sure you pay close attention to see how many you will already know. Also, I'm going to try and go as fast as I can, so make sure you pay really close attention to all these that I'm going to mention here. So let's begin and see how many of these unwritten rules that you know by starting off with cruise ship rule number 1. And this is to follow all safety instructions and attend the mandatory safety drills by the cruise line. Cruise ship rule number 2 is for you not to throw anything overboard as it can harm marine life and pollute the ocean. Cruise ship rule number 3 goes a long way while you're on the ship, and it is to respect all the crew members and your fellow passengers on board regardless of their status or rank. Cruise ship rule number 4 is for you not to engage in any illegal activities or bring any prohibited items on board. This is for your own pride and safety. So try to refrain from any illegal activities while you are a ship passenger. Cruise ship rule number 5 is make sure to observe the dress codes and follow any guidelines given for formal nights or for specific venues on the ship. Cruise ship rule number 6, do not tamper with or misuse any safety equipment on board, and these can include equipment such as life jackets, fire extinguisher, fire alarms, or any other equipment designated to save lives in the event of any disasters on board. Cruise ship rule number 7, there is a no diving policy on cruise ships. That's why you will not see diving pads near any pools. Also, you should not dive off the sides of the ship, as that can be a life-threatening disaster and affect everyone on board. Cruise ship rule number 8, there are designated smoking areas on board, so do not smoke or attempt to smoke beyond these points, as it is a violation to the ship's policy and can be harmful to others as well as dangerous if it is to cause any fire hazard on board. Cruise ship rule number 9, do not try to reserve or save the deck chairs by leaving your personal belongings unattended for very long periods of time. This is frowned upon by other passengers on board and sometimes the cause of passenger conflicts. Cruise ship rule number 10, if you are allowed to, then you cannot access restricted areas or crew-only sections of the ship if you are a passenger. In some cases, there are some ways to get around this, so if you are interested in learning what they are, then let me know by leaving a comment down below. Cruise ship rule number 11, you are not allowed without permission to use drone equipment or any other aerial vehicles on board without advising the security team or the cruise ship management staff. If you are found using these equipments without permission, you can be fined or even reported. Cruise ship rule number 12, you can be in a lot of trouble if you are caught bullying or harassing other crew members or passengers on board. So please do not go on a cruise with the intention that you can do these things without some form of punishment or repercussion. Cruise ship rule number 14, so if you haven't noticed, I skipped number 13 because it is said an unwritten rule for cruise line is for them to not have a 13th deck, because there's a superstition that a 13th deck will bring bad luck. So when you go on a cruise, you will notice there will not be a number 13 deck. Cruise ship rule number 15, do not participate or engage in activities that will make your fellow passengers or crew member feel uncomfortable or cause any harm to them. Cruise ship rule number 16, please do not try to overconsume more alcohol than what your system can handle, and always try to follow the onboard alcohol and drinking policy. Cruise ship rule number 17, if a cruise line does not accept pets on board, please do not try to sneak one on the ship. If you require a service animal for your cruise, then let the cruise ship know in advance so they can make any possible arrangements for you. Cruise ship rule number 18, you should never attempt or decide to throw any objects overboard. This can be a cause for immediate removal from the ship, and you can be endangering and affecting the wildlife at sea. Cruise ship rule number 19. This goes together with the previous rule, and that is to not deliberately disturb the wildlife or coral reefs whenever you are participating in any shore excursion, unless otherwise advised to do so by a supervising tour guide. There are some shore excursion activities that will allow you to interact with the wildlife or animals, so you should only do so if given permission. Cruise ship rule number 20. You cannot disembark or embark a cruise ship without the proper identification status and cannot prove that you belong to that cruise as a passenger or crew. So do not attempt to go on board any other cruise ships that you are not either a crew or passenger of unless invited by a high-ranking staff member. If you've reached this far, then let me know how many of the previous cruise ship rules you already knew. Cruise ship rule number 21. You are not allowed to participate in any gambling activities on board if you are underage or have any previous gambling violations. So if you are underage or have previous violations, then make sure to stay clear of the casino to avoid any further troubles. Cruise ship rule number 22. Do not attempt to go behind or access any crew working areas on the ship. This is strongly prohibited. Cruise ship rule number 23. This one is quite obvious, but you are not allowed to bring dangerous objects or weapons on board a cruise ship, whether it is a personal item or a souvenir. Cruise ship rule number 24. Please do not try to steal other passenger belongings or cruise ship equipment. If you are given any commodity items to use on board, such as a tablet, iPads, and so on, please make sure to return them before the end of your cruise. Cruise ship rule number 25. If the elevators have a capacity limit, then it is wise for you to follow those restrictions of the elevators. Do not try to overcrowd it, as it can malfunction and can develop into a cause for disaster to happen. Cruise ship rule number 26. Do not participate in reckless behaviors such as sliding down the stairs, climbing on the sides of the ship, or even running along the hallways. Cruise ship rule number 27. Always pay close attention to any safety or security announcements that are happening on the ship. It is there to advise you and keep you updated. Cruise ship rule number 28. Drugs are first of all not allowed on board, so if you are caught, please do not act surprised that you will be apprehended, arrested, or removed from the ship. Cruise ship rule number 29. Always pay attention to the cruise ship all aboard time. Sometimes the cruise ship time can be different from the local time, so as an unwritten rule, it is in your best interest to pay attention to when you should return back to the ship. Cruise ship rule number 30. Not because you are a visitor to a cruise port, you are still subjected to follow all the laws, rules, and regulations of that port of entry regardless of your traveling status. So please be mindful, each port you visit may have different rules that you must follow. Cruise ship rule number 31. After certain hours have passed on the ship, as a common courtesy to your fellow passenger, do not be too loud or noisy in the hallways. Try to be as quiet as you possibly can to not disturb others. Cruise ship rule number 32. If you are traveling with children, do not leave them unattended on the cruise ship. If you need assistance with children on board, then you can inquire about any kids recreational areas on board. Also keep in mind that these areas are not open 24/7, so always make sure to return for your kids before closing hours. Cruise ship rule number 33. Certain areas of the ship are not subjected to commercial purposes such as vlogging, recording, or to be published to the public. These areas will include private sections of the ship, such as the bathroom and toilet areas, or even some areas such as the medical facilities on board. If you are caught recording in these areas, then you will face a heavy penalty, fine, or be kicked off the cruise ship and even arrested. Cruise ship rule number 34. You are not allowed to ignore the health and hygiene guidelines of the ship. If a sign says you have to wash and sanitize your hands before entering such venue, then it shouldn't be difficult for you to follow those guidelines, as it is put in place to decrease the spread of germs and diseases on cruise ships. Cruise ship rule number 35. As some of you may know, there are hundreds of different nationalities and cultures on board a cruise ship, and all of them should be respected equally. So try to refrain from all forms of discrimination and any offensive behavior to other passenger or crew members, regardless of their age, race, religion, gender, or sexual preferences. Cruise ship rule number 36. If your cruise does not allow it, then please do not indulge in any form of public indecency or naked cruise ship behaviors. If your cruise is a swinger and nudist cruise, then you can for sure participate in those activities. Otherwise, do not do this on any other cruise ships. Cruise ship rule number 37. Do not use the cruise ship internet or communication systems for any illegal or banned online activities. The reason for this is that, for one, your online presence is being tracked, and two, it is not right to do so. So just know that the IT staff on board knows exactly what websites you are entering online while you are on the ship. Cruise ship rule number 38. Do not interfere with the cruise ship schedule activities and entertainment events. Do not try to disrupt the performances or enter the stage area of the entertainment staff. You will be kicked off the ship. Cruise ship rule number 39. And this is for passengers who love to take control and ownership of the public equipment that should be available for every passenger if they need them. And what I'm talking about is the gym equipment, seating areas, or any other public facilities on board a cruise ship. Many times passengers try to monopolize this public equipment as if it is their own. So do not do this and be respectful to others. Cruise ship rule number 40. This one is the last for this video, but certainly it is not the least, and should be one of those rules on cruise ships that you should always keep in your mind whenever you are going on board. And that is to leave all your negativity at the shoreside and bring as much of your positivity as you can on board. As a crew member, we love to see happy guests, and we work hard every day to achieve high ratings for our crews. It also helps us a lot when there are many other respectful, positive guests that come to enjoy their vacation on board. So leave all the negativity behind, and once you set foot on board, activate your positive cruise vacation mode. If you've enjoyed the information from this video, I'm not asking you to leave a like and comment below how many cruise ship rules you already know, and list any others you might want to add. I would like to hear what you have to say. Also, watch my next video that you may see here on the screen. It's Onik, your cruise employee, and I'm out.